Welcome to Unlocking Your Truth, another podcast by Dr. Lesley Phillips.
I thought that what we could talk about this evening is the heart center. So I realized that through the time that we've been doing the show, I've talked about all sorts of different intuitive abilities and different energy centers called chakras, but I've never talked about the heart chakra or the heart center. So I thought that that would be a really great topic this evening, especially as we've had some dreadful things going on in the news this week. I mean, there always are, but I was just particularly shocked about the atrocity that went on at that holiday resort in Tunisia, where there was a gunman that went crazy and shot all of those people. And you just think, well, what happens to these people where they are so separate from humanity that they can do things like that? So let's talk about the heart and the heart center. And your heart center is located in your chest, near to your heart. And it's an energy vortex that contains information. And the information contained within the heart center relates to two things: oneness and affinity. And so what do I mean by oneness and affinity? So affinity is something that you're all familiar with. You might not call it that, but it is a force of the universe that really goes through everything that we know. So when you're at school and you were learning about physics or chemistry or magnetism, you were learning about affinity. It's that force that attracts molecules together, and it's also something that all human beings have. And so what is your affinity? Your affinity is when you feel strongly attracted to another person, or it's when you feel passionate about something, so passionate about something that you're just really strongly drawn towards it. That's your affinity. It's a force that pulls you towards things that are a vibrationary match for you. And I think of it kind of as an onboard guidance system. And so just like you might have a sat-nav in your car and it gives you directions: turn left here, go straight ahead here, turn right here, your affinity, if you listen to it, will give you really great directions as you move forward on your life path, because it's going to give you a really good clue. If you're facing a decision between one thing and another, then and your logical mind, the logical mind sometimes doesn't do us any favors. You know, it will weigh up the pros and cons, and things can go round and round and round and round, and it can be hard to come to a decision. But if you tune into your heart center and think about the two decisions that you're choosing between, and just notice which one you feel more drawn to in your heart, which one you feel more excited about, which one you feel more passionate about. Your heart will tell you that, and that is the one that is the right choice for you. You know, sometimes we override our affinity because we think we ought to choose this over that, for whatever reason it is, whether it's because somebody else believes that we should do something different than we want, or whether we've got some cultural programming around it. So next time you have a decision, just connect with your heart and connect with the feelings in your heart and notice which one really lights you up in your heart. So, that's one aspect of the heart center. Another aspect of the heart center is called oneness. And oneness is simply the interconnectedness of all things. And the way I like to think about it is this, really. I like to think about humanity as though we are this big, giant symphony. We're all here in this world together, and we're all connected. We're connected with everything in this world: family, community, plants, animals. And, to be in a state of oneness is where you accept all things and people exactly as they are. But the other thing that oneness will do for you, and here's my analogy of this big symphony of souls, is that it will help you to understand where you fit within the great all that is. And so if you think that you have your unique note to play in this great symphony of souls, and so does every other human being, you are the only person that can play your unique note. Nobody else can. And so being connected with your oneness helps you understand what is unique about you and what is unique about everybody else, and how you all fit together in this wonderful symphony. And that's why it doesn't make sense when we get into competition with other people. Like, this person's better than me, and I wish I was like them, and I want to be like them, or I want that person's job, or I want that person's money. When you think of it in the context of oneness, it doesn't make any sense at all, because there's only one of them. They have their unique place in this symphony, and just like it would probably sound awful if the violin started playing the notes that were meant for the tuba, and the tuba started playing the notes that were meant for the flute. It just doesn't make sense in this symphony of souls for you to try and mold yourself in the image of another person. It also doesn't make sense for you to feel unworthy and not good enough, because you're unique. You're an essential part of the great all that is. If you don't play your unique note, the symphony won't work. There will be a missing note. There will be a disharmony. So, how can you tell if you're experiencing oneness? Well, if you feel connected to all things, then you are experiencing your oneness. So those moments when you're out in nature and you feel connected with the plants around you, when you feel connected with other people in your life and other people in the world, when you feel connected with the planet itself and even the cosmos, that is when you are experiencing oneness. Those nights when you look up at the sky and you see all of the beautiful stars and you just gasp at all of that. That's one way that you can experience your oneness. Or when you go for a peaceful walk in the forest and you just feel an integral part of everything there. That's an example of you experiencing your oneness. And when you're in a state of oneness, it's a place where you have unconditional love and are able to validate yourself and to validate other people. So you're not going to beat up on yourself or criticize yourself or judge yourself. You're just know who you are and why you're here, and you accept yourself, and you accept everyone and everything else around you, and you know that you belong here. You're an intricate part of the whole. But if you're going around in your life feeling like a lost sheep or a black sheep, feeling like you're constantly searching for your path, feeling like you don't know who you are and you don't know why you are here, then if you're going around judging yourself, criticizing yourself, judging other people, criticizing other people, then you are out of touch with the vibration of oneness. And the same thing for affinity. How do you know if you're experiencing your affinity, this aspect of your heart? If you're in a state of attraction towards something, you are experiencing your affinity. And whether that affinity or attraction relates to your enjoyment of the company of other people, or a project that you are engaged in, or it's a relationship of a romantic nature, or a connection with God or divine or source energy. When you're in a state of attraction towards these things, you're experiencing your affinity. But if you feel repulsed by something or someone, or if you're in a state of judgment and non-acceptance, then your affinity is being challenged to expand, to incorporate that thing that you're feeling repulsed by. Or it may also be a clue that this is not for you, and this is not a direction that you want to go in. So I've got a couple of my little quizzes that I sometimes like to do, and I'm going to read out a few things, maybe the top 5 things for each of these aspects of the heart. So, starting with affinity, do you always listen to your heart when making an important decision? If you do, then you are in touch with your affinity. Would you say that your heart guides your relationships with friends and romantic partners? If you say yes to that, then you're in touch with your affinity. If you are passionate towards people and things in your life, then that's a sign that you are running from this vibration of affinity. If you feel that whatever you want is magnetized towards you through your heart, through having an open heart, that's also a sign that your affinity is in action. Or if you feel that there is a divine presence of love vibrating within you. Some other examples of affinity is that you love your body, you accept your body, you appreciate it as it is. You believe that there's beauty in all things, and you experience that beauty and you revel in it every day. You love spending time with others, they make you feel happy, you're drawn to plants, you're drawn to animals, you're drawn towards people and situations that are beneficial and supportive for you. The universe seems to just spin into your orbit things and events that are a great match for you. And people who are not a good match and seem to just spin off out of your orbit. This is a picture of somebody who is connected with and in touch with the vibration of affinity and operating from that vibration of affinity. Now, if you find it easy to appreciate and accept people for who they are, then that's a sign that you are in a state of oneness. If you respect other people and you accept them and you don't judge them, perhaps you're in a state of oneness. And if you sense that other people are judging you or criticizing you, but you remain completely unaffected by that, and you're able to accept them even when they do that, you're in a state of oneness. And if you never try to emulate and compete with other people, then again you're in this state of acceptance, this state of oneness. If you feel you know who you are and where you fit in the world and why you are here, then you are interconnected with where you sit within the great all that is. And if you feel no pressure to match the energy of family and peers and other people, then again you're connected in this matrix of beings within our world that each has its own unique place. And if when you are physically alone you don't feel lonely, then again you are secure with your place. And that's a big one for most of us, isn't it? I don't think I'm not sure that I've met many people at all who can be alone for a long time. If you have a high level of certainty about your needs and wants and desires, if your spiritual practice includes accepting and being in the present moment, and knowing that everyone and everything is part of the same whole, or even if you look into the face of another person, you're able to see yourself staring back at you, then those are all signs that you are vibrating in a state of oneness. So, that's what we're talking about today, folks. We're talking about the aspects of the heart chakra, the aspects of the heart center. And once again, that's an energy center that exists in the center of your chest, near your heart, and it is a place that contains your affinity and your oneness.
I have a question for you that's come in, and it's from Minnie. And Minnie wants to know, what is my soul purpose? Why am I born?
Okay, great. Thank you. I will have a look at that question from Minnie. And again, if you don't know the show and you don't know me, I'll just explain. I don't use cards or intermediary devices to do this. I go into a light self-induced trance, and from that state I'm able to look at energy in anyone, anywhere in the world. They don't need to be in front of me. So I'm going to just tune in to Minnie's energy and take a look at what her soul purpose is this lifetime. And so the first thing that I'm seeing is it feels like part of your purpose has to do with, let's call it, bringing in a new vibration. And I'm laughing because I just went to see that film about the Brian Wilson. There's a film called something Mercy, and that's why when I said vibration it made me think of that. But anyway, it looks like you're here to bring in a new, different vibration into the world. And give me a moment and I'll just take a look at what that has to do with. And of course, we're all here in a way to bring our unique vibration into the world, but let's see what's particular about yours. And one of the things that I'm seeing actually is the reason that you're not connected with your life purpose right now is you tend to be quite dreamy. You tend to have your head in the clouds and be quite dreamy. It looks like you daydream a lot, and most of your energy is kind of outside of your body in kind of in a cloud of thoughts and possibilities. And so, like I say to most people who ask me a question, if you ground yourself, get grounded, what you'll be able to bring more of that energy into the here and now and into physical reality, and it will actually start to manifest as a real thing as opposed to a dream. But let me see, I'm still looking into this unique thing. And the other thing that I'm seeing about it is it's not something that you're doing on your own. I'm seeing that you're part of a group of souls who are working together, whatever this is. And I'm seeing that some of them are like you and they have bodies, and some of them don't have bodies. They're more like a kind of a group of spirit guides that are helping you. And so I'm seeing that there's actually a lot of activity with you in terms of, at the moment, let's call it out-of-body experience and astral travel. So it looks like this is one of the places that you go to connect with this group of souls that you're working with. Because I'm seeing that they're in all different places on the earth, the ones that have bodies and the ones that don't have bodies. It looks like this is just an easier way for you to connect with them. And so it looks like you've got sort of like a manifesto or an objective for what you're wanting to do. And it has to do with bringing in a new vibration to the planet and creating some changes here on the planet. And some of it, in big picture, it's part of what's going on in general on the planet right now, which is, and forgive me for using slightly religious terminology right now, but you know, the second coming of Christ is not that Jesus reappears in a new body and says, "Hello everybody, I'm here." It is a process where all souls, all people on the planet start to wake up and become aware, and I don't like to use these words, enlightenment or become a Christ, but that's the idea. It's like where we all learn this mastery, this level of consciousness that he had. And the vibration on the planet has been increasing so much that there's an opportunity there for more people than ever before to do that. And so I'm seeing that part of your life purpose relates to just that general change that's going on in the planet, but the specific aspect of your life purpose, I would say, has to do, what's coming up for me is to do with protecting the environment. So being a healer of some kind, and protecting the environment and being a custodian of the environment, and how that actually looks like in your life. It could be anything from caring about recycling to just changing the way that we do things, helping us see that some of the ways that we do things are not working, are not beneficial, and are not supporting the planet, and giving us some ideas about some different ways that we can do things. So I'm seeing that you're a game changer. You're here to help us change and do things in a different way. I'm seeing that, like I said, you're a bit out of touch with that right now because you are, just looks like you're not grounding that in. And also that it's like this process that we all have to go through, or at least us of a certain generation, which is just letting go of the layers of programming that we've stored so that we can bring our true vibration into our bodies. Okay, Minnie, I hope that has helped you, and I'm going to see if there's another question now. I'm going to read out the number again for anyone who feels like calling in, 604-504-7441, extension 4142, or you can email info@drlesleyphillips.com. That's once again info@drlesleyphillips.com. Hello.
Hello, Dr. Lesley.
Hi.
Hi, I got a question for you that came in via email. And it says, this is from Chantel, and Chantel asks, I'm looking to meet my soulmate, twin flame, divine complement, and was wondering where I was in this process and if there was anything I can do to help facilitate this union. I really would like to find someone to share my life with. also, if any career advice comes through, I'd love to hear it too.
Great, thank you.
There you go.
All right. Might stick to the one question here in line with the theme, and let's look at the relationship question that you asked, Chantel. So once again, I'm going to tune into Chantel's energy. So I'm just doing that now. And, well, I'm glad that you asked this question, and I'm glad that it's come up on tonight's show, because it really relates to this idea of oneness that we were talking about. And one of the things that I'm seeing is you've got this concept that you are not completely acceptable as you are, that you are incomplete in some way unless you have found your, in inverted commas, twin flame and are in a loving, supportive relationship with them. And so it's sort of like there's this thing to hope for in the future, that will happen in the future, that will make my life complete, that will make me complete, that will make everything okay. If only this one thing will happen and I will meet my twin flame, then it will solve all my problems. And of course, that's not true. All of those things that I just said are not true. You are completely okay and acceptable as you are. You don't need anything else to come into your life, or any other person to come into your life and be in relationship to you, to make you complete. So that's the first thing. And of course, the second thing is it won't solve all your problems. You create your own reality. So anything in your reality right now that you're looking at that you don't like, you put that there, right? And so there's no magic wand that comes and wipes that all away. So, and the other thing I always, when people ask me about twin flames and divine complements and soulmates, I don't believe that there is one perfect match for each person, and it's called their twin flame. There's so many. It's that there's plenty of fish in the sea. There's so many souls in the world, all here, to play together and create in various ways. But if you feel that you're not attracting people, or you're attracting the wrong people, then one of the things that you can do is look into yourself, heal yourself, change your vibration, and as you change your vibration, the types of people that are attracted into your orbit will be a match for that higher vibration. So let's see if there's anything else I can say to this question. The other thing I want to say about this idea of, another person belonging to the same soul as you, being your other half, in my experience, I have known some relationships that were like that, where the two people in the relationship were projections of the same soul. And they are some of the hardest relationships ever, because it's like getting up in the morning and looking at your own face every day, and they purposefully can be very challenging and soul expanding. So it's not this hearts and flowers things that happens when you meet somebody like that. It can actually be quite the opposite, because often another aspect of ourselves is one that will stretch us the most. So I'm going to leave that there, and I hope that that's given you some information that is useful, and we will go and see if there's any more questions. Once again, you can call 604-504-7441, extension 4142. Hello.
Hello, Dr. Lesley. It's me again.
Hello, you again.
I have a question for you that's very interesting in one way, but it's actually quite common a question. But what I really enjoy about the answers that you give to people, they're all different, and each person's an individual, and they get different answers to the same question.
Yeah.
Yeah. So here's a question from Linda, and Linda asks, "How can I tap into my spiritual and intuitive knowledge?"
Great, thank you. All righty, let's look up that question for Linda. How can she tap into her spiritual and intuitive knowledge? So I'm just tuning into Linda's energy, and the first thing that comes up to say to you, Linda, relates to your inner voice, and it relates to, there's an energy center that exists in the cleft of your throat. It's actually called, to some of us in this sort of, I don't know, let's call us the New Age community or whatever, it's called your fifth chakra. And this energy center is responsible for a whole variety of different aspects of intuitive communication, including your inner voice, including your clairaudience, including your broad and narrow band telepathy, and a type of intuition which is called pragmatic intuition. And so when you ask, how can I tap into my spiritual intuition and knowledge, that's the first place that I'm guided to look at. And what I see is two things. One is that the energy in that energy center is stuck in the past. And two, there is some fear contained within it. So I'm seeing that it looks like you're somebody who is afraid to speak your truth, and who has had some experiences in your childhood when you were punished for speaking your truth, where your voice was not encouraged. I'd say kind of like the upbringing where children should be seen and not heard. And so I'm seeing that you learned what I have to say isn't important. What I have to say isn't interesting. People don't care about my voice. People don't care about my needs. People don't care about me expressing myself. And so that the pastime energy that's there in the fifth chakra relates to your childhood, and the fear that's there in the fifth chakra relates to a fear of speaking up and speaking your truth because you, as a kid, were punished for doing so. So the key to you to access the information that's in this energy center is to release and let go of the past and release and let go of your fear. And I'm seeing that it looks like you are really wanting to do that. I'm seeing that you're actually running this lovely bright blue vibration through your energy field as an attempt to help you clear out that pastime energy. And in particular, it looks like you're really wanting to get at your own inner voice. And your inner voice it's that voice inside of you that sounds exactly like you do when you're speaking, because it is you. It's you, the high vibration spiritual being, communicating to you, the body personality. It always tells you the truth. It always gives you really good advice and good guidance. So that's what I would say to you. I feel like there's more going on at different parts in your energy system, but that would be the place to start. Another area to look at would be your crown, and that's the place where you can simply be and connect with your spiritual wisdom, your ability to just instantly know. It looks like you had that invalidated as well, and you learned to give your power away, and you learned that other people know more than you do, which also isn't true. So reclaiming yourself, reclaiming your energy, and letting go of the past. Tonight we've been talking about the aspects of the heart chakra, oneness, affinity, acceptance, unconditional love. And now we're taking your calls, and you're welcome to call us about that or call us with a question. And I'll just say, if there's ever a topic that you would love us to cover on the show, you can email info@drlesleyphillips.com and request it. And I'm more than happy to include your suggestions. Question to answer. Hello.
Hello, Dr. Lesley.
Hi.
Dr. Lesley, I have a little novelette from Jean.
Really?
So you may want to take out a pen and paper and take some notes on this one.
Okay.
Okay, she starts off, and her punctuation is wrong because there's a period at the end of this as opposed to an exclamation mark. Falling apart. At first, I thought it was about finally losing the weight that needs to come off of me. Then I thought about falling apart because I'm in debt trying to get a home staging business off the ground. No connection. Sadness. Yet, can you believe that there's still a sense of hope in me? Am I at a point where I see the disconnect but hope for the reconnecting soon? So that was her question in there. Am I at a point where I see the disconnect but hope for the reconnecting soon? Absolution from my stupidity in how I am handling my business. That's another question she's asking. And this is another question. Owning it and forgiving myself for where I am right now, knowing that all things are fixable. Thanks for reading this. Just had to get it out of me. Did you want me to repeat any of that?
No, that's okay. I think that I got the general gist is about feeling disconnected.
Okay, I'll leave you to it.
Okay, thank you. All right. Well, let's... Actually, I don't know if you told me the lady's name, but that's okay. I'm going to tune in and take a look. So, this lady is feeling disconnected and I guess is looking for some guidance about what is going on and why she is feeling that way. And I'm just tuning into her energy. And one of the things that I'm seeing is, I would use a different word. I wouldn't use the word disconnected. I would use the word transformation. I'm seeing that you are in the middle of a huge transformation. And oftentimes when we go through a huge transformation and we let go of the past in such a big way, we don't know. It's possible to just not know, who am I anymore? Who am I and what am I connected to and why am I here? And so I'm feeling that that's what's been happening to you, is that you are transforming and you're letting go of a lot of baggage from the past and you're moving into a new stage in your life where you will be more in charge. Okay, so I'm going to look at some of these issues that you mentioned in terms of financial and business. And one of the things that's coming up is that it looks as though in the past you've had your life set up and the way that you do things set up in accordance with, let's call it programming. It's like other people's ideas and expectations and other people's advice. This is how you should run, this is how you should do a business, this is what you're meant to do, this is what you're supposed to do, this is how you should handle your finances, this is what you're meant to do, this is what you're supposed to do. And it looks like you've sort of thought, I need to do it their way because I need to, keep them happy, I need to please them, I need to, they know better than I do. And I'm seeing that what happened is there's some kind of a realization that no, it's not working. To do things in the way of other people isn't working. And I'm seeing that you kind of, in a way, when I look at your energy, it's not angry, but it just looks charged with just like a real rush of, gotta, just, really wanting to shed the old ways and stop giving away your power to other people. And I'm seeing that if you do that it's not that you're disconnected, it's that you've been inundated with foreign energy and other people telling you what to do and how to do it. And you've broken out of the mold, and all of a sudden it's like, because you've lived all your life that way, all of a sudden it just feels odd. But I'm actually seeing it, to me, it looks really good, and it looks like you're moving in the right direction. And that, after the letting go and the feeling of disconnect, what comes rushing in is you. Your energy rushing into you, into your life, filling you up and giving you a renewed sense of purpose and a renewed direction. So it might feel uncomfortable right now, but I'm seeing it's a good thing. So we do have time for 1 or 2 more questions, and if you want it to be you, you can phone us on 604-504-7441, extension 4142. Hello, do you have another question?
Yes, I do. I'm glad we have time for another question. This is from Kathy, and I really like the way Kathy's gotten around or asking her question in regards to you not answering future questions. See if you can, future time questions. See if you can catch it here. Where am I now, and where do I need to go on my journey at this moment in time?
Okay, let's take a look. Where am I now? My goodness. Oh, another person feeling a bit lost, hey? So I'm going to tune in to Kathy. All right. So, well, it's interesting when I look at your energy, Kathy. Where am I now? Well, okay, I might answer it in the other way round. Where do I need to go? I would say you need to come down to earth and be right here, right now. You need to be here and now. You need to be present, in present time. Because what I'm seeing you do, it's like another person with their head in the clouds, but the way that your head is in the clouds is, it's just, it's like you're, well, actually, no, it's interesting. I see you kind of holding a map and feeling a bit lost and looking at this map and not knowing what direction to go in. But it's like you're holding the map. While you're holding the map, you're kind of up in the sky. Your feet are not on the ground. You're not even here. It's like just suspended in the atmosphere. And so what I want to say is the first step for you is get really grounded and bring yourself into present time, because it looks like you are caught up in, well, you're kind of hanging out outside your body. And when you're hanging out outside your body, there's no past, there's no I missaid that. There's no space and time, right? You're outside of space and time. And I'm seeing that's kind of what you're doing. You're kind of all over the place in space and time, in your thoughts and your dreams and your aspirations. And so, number one for you is ground yourself, so that you come into your body, and as you come more into your body, you come more into present time. And I'm seeing that the more that you come into present time and the here and now, the less confusing life will be to you, because you'll be dealing with what is instead of a whole bunch of other things that don't exist. So I kind of answered your question in a kind of a neat way there. Because the answer wasn't anything to do with the future at all. It was, you just need to come into present time. So I think we've got time for one more question. And folks, you can email info@drlesleyphillips.com, or you can call 604-504-7441, extension 4142. This will be the last question for tonight's show. Hi.
Hi, and we have a quick question from Aggie. All Aggie wants to know was, who was I in past life?
Okay. We'll see if we can do a quick past life reading for Aggie. And of course, that's like the question, how long is a piece of string? Because you've had lots of past lives, Aggie, and we're only going to be able to pick one of them. So let me choose one that is relevant to you right now. So you have a long timeline. This past life is about, it's a fairly recent one. Let's call it about 1/16 of the way down your entire timeline. And I'm looking at, this is a lifetime in the last century, in the 1900s, and the timeline that's coming up is the 1930s for this lifetime. And I'm seeing two people, and I'm just trying to figure out which one you are. I'm seeing a little boy and his mother, and it feels as though it is in, well, it's definitely in Europe, and I want to say that it is in England. And it's interesting. I'm not being able to tell which one you are. Let's see if you're the little boy. You're not the mother. But the person who's the mother is somebody that is very close to you and is in your life right now, because I'm seeing that whoever this person is, the energy vibration is mixed up in your energy vibration. So I'd say it's somebody that you're close to right now. And it looks as though you're getting ready to move, to leave the place that you've been living in, because she's making you take down all your posters off your wall and get packed up. And it looks like you've been living in the city and you're moving more to the countryside. And it's a big change for you. And it looks like you're not too terribly happy about this change. You like familiarity. You've got your friends. You've got, what you know, and it actually, what it looks like is, it looks like you lost your father perhaps in the First World War, and she was getting remarried, and the new marriage was going to mean that you were going to have to live somewhere else. And so you weren't looking forward to it. Anyway, I'm going to try and make a quick point about this. How does that relate to your current life? And I would just say, look in your current life for any places that you are resisting change, because what came up is a past life where change is occurring and you are in resistance to it. And I'm actually seeing that this was a very good thing for you in the end. And because it looks like you moved out of a place that, you just moved into a place that was very safe and very enjoyable. And I'm actually seeing that you ended up being some kind of a farmer, and with lots of animals and stuff, and you actually really, really loved it.
Thank you for joining us. You've been listening to another Unlocking Your Truth podcast by Dr. Lesley Phillips. For more information, go to our website at drlesleyphillips.com. That's drlesleyphillips.com, where you can ask questions or send her an email, and there's many free gifts on there for you as well. Come back again.